Howdy! My name is Oatmealint, and today we'll be continuing the EU4 Let's Play of Japan, where I've just recently broke my vow of peacefulness and and colonialization with a war with Korea, and my plan to become allied with the Ming. They broke their alliance and are now our rivals. Not quite sure it was worth it to attack Korea, but just the provinces, they were so juicy, and they were there. Okay, well, anyway, let's continue from where we left off. We don't have a mission selected because, as we learned in a previous video, really isn't worth it to select a mission until you're about to achieve it. The one we're probably most interested in is this incorporate purple, because we are in the process of incorporating them. That's great. We'll pick it up maybe when we get closer to 50-60. There is still some revolt risk, so what I'm hoping, I'm actually going to move these guys into the province with less revolt risk, because what I'm hoping for are some rebels to pop up. We can pick up that mission where you shut down some rebels for 2 stability. That'd save us approximately 200 administrative power. And as far as on the colonial front, we have some progress going up here. Probably not going to focus on the northern colonies, except for if we can find some of the metal producing ones up there in the north. But the real prize is the Philippines. We can take every province in the Philippines except for one. These guys can't take these guys through colonization, and I'm not sure I'll ever take them because they're Sunni, and if I were to take them, I would not have 100% religious stability. And when I go about to westernize, which is the plan, when I go about to westernize, I want to have 100% religious stability, 100% cultural unity, and hopefully the revolts that typically follow westernization won't plague me, and I'll be able to become a power rivaling the European powers and get to that rank 1 that I'm going to consider a victory condition. So, let's see. Let's just get started. Just as a recap, I decided I'm not going to do the Unite Japan. That's pretty loud. I'm gonna turn down the effects volume. So, like I said before, we just cored one of these provinces because every province in the Asian Ocean Zone needs to be cored because it will contribute to overextension, whereas once we get some American... Yeah, this is definitely something I want to pick up. Once we get some American colonies, that won't contribute to overextension, and while we'll probably be coring them, it won't be as high of a priority. Global settler increase. Now, this 33% goes into... Where do we have some settlers? That goes into this number right here, which is a flat rate, not the new settler chance. Which is actually really good here because we have a nearby colony. You don't have the no nearby colony penalty. So it looks like we've got 3 colonies going. These 3 up here. I wish that I hadn't founded them now because... Okay, so there are... There's 700, so this event, Colonial Company goes bankrupt. What it basically is do you want to pay a certain amount of gold to keep the 50% of your population? Obviously, if there's a very low population in the colony, the choice is easy. Kill off 50% of them. But for Kamikawa? We're going to go with Kamikawa. There are 700 colonists here. If I were to let 50% of them die, This is costing me effectively... let's see. Well, it's costing me the ability to get another colony going. It's not my most populated, but as soon as this is done, I'll get another colony going. The question is that worth the 50 ducats to me when I'm running a deficit due to probably some expensive advisor that I bought? This expensive advisor that I got, which I'm not using the colonial range that he gives. I might just want to swap him out, but he cost 100 and some odd to swap in. Not anywhere close to picking up a diplomatic technology, so this naval reformer isn't gonna be worth swapping in. And I can't turn down army maintenance because I have this revolt risk, and I don't have very many vassals left, none of them with significant fleets that could get over to Korea. I don't want to lose the population. I think that despite my slip in the plan with attacking Korea, just so juicy, I am going to stick to the plan of being a colonial power and bite the bullet and swap out this guy as soon as I get down to... You know what, I'm just going to do it now. I'm going to do it now. I want to be spending my money on colonies. I think that we discovered last time that the first 3 colonies are 0.66 each, with the next colony costing 4 and the next colony costing 20. So that might have... I think that has to do with the number of colonists you have. But I thought that it went up exponentially after you passed the number of colonists that you had. So I don't know why they're giving me 3 at the flat rate. That being said, we could easily now afford to send a colonist here. I'm not going to go into Manila, even though it's more profitable because I don't have the army to go to Manila. You know what? I am going to go to Manila. Scratch that. I'm going to send my troops to Manila. I'm going to go pick up a few troops from over here. Actually, I'm not going to send them to Manila quite yet. I'm going to go grab a total of 7 troops from Manila because they have just this outrageous aggressiveness and a very high population, which I think determines the number of troops that they summon when they start to revolt. The ferocity just is a damage, doesn't determine how many native troops will be summoned. So that's the population. So 7, I think they're probably going to summon 7 rebels or 7 natives when they... Okay. When they do decide to revolt. So I'm going to have 7 troops over there to keep that from happening. The reason I didn't send the 3 down there now is that I didn't want them to get there and, like, there just be natives sitting there. Where is my colonist? He's here. I'm actually gonna let him... It has a 50% growth chance per month. I'm gonna let him finish this colony and just keep my costs a little lower then. Yeah. See, you can only get new colonists through this mechanism at the beginning of each year on January, but that settler chance happens at every month. So, go ahead and core this. So now I'm going to have the low colonial cost when I send my colonist here. I might actually also pick up this colony. Let's compare the two. We have 3... Okay, so when these guys, they'll incorporate for potential tax of +1. These will incorporate for potential tax of 0.6. So this is a more profitable colony down here, the Visayas. But I want to settle this because it'll get a bonus for being next to an existing colony, I believe. I wonder if that's only cores or it's also colonies. So let's see if I'm right. There's gonna be some hostile forces when I land. It's gonna be enough that it would have beaten potentially the 3 guys I was sending down before. Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna just leave them there. And once the colonist gets here, I'm gonna send him here. And this colony will finish much faster because it's got less aggressiveness, so its settler chance is higher. You want to send your settler to wherever the settler chance is highest, because that's where the impact will be the greatest. The base rate isn't going to change by sending the settler somewhere. Okay, so they only have a 3 aggressiveness. So it's possible that if I send the colonist there, that he won't need a single troop to protect him. They've got a low aggressiveness, and there are events that reduce ferocity, and I think, I'm not positive, but I've noticed that when you have a colonist in a colony, as opposed to just it being a colony like this one, they're much less likely to revolt. Or, it's not revolt. The revolt risk doesn't accurately portray the chance that they're going to rise up against you. So, but I do believe that with 3 aggressiveness, definitely with 1 aggressiveness, having a colonist, they won't ever rise up against you. So maybe it only reduces it by 1. Not really sure. We've got 3 troops over here that aren't really doing anything. They could go and stand in this colony, and that way I wouldn't really have to worry about it. I don't know if 9 is enough to hold down Korea, but they've got a general. His amazing 4 fire, 2 shock. He can really take out rebels with those stats. So I don't suspect that's going to be a big problem. Okay, let's all aboard. Send you over there. I'm really concerned with the Ming disliking us, having us set as a rival. They're highly unlikely to... They can't be setting us as a rival for embargo reasons. It has to be just that we got too much overextension. Currently, we should have very low overextension. Oh, wow. This place down here, that's right, it had a very high base tax. That's what determines overextension, is the base tax. I think it's because we had a high overextension and we were aggressive and they marked us as a rival. The only other reason to mark someone as a rival is you get free embargo power against them. And embargoing someone... Yeah, well, they were definitely going to rise up. Embargoing someone reduces their trade strength in nodes in which you both have a presence. And since the only trade node where we both have a presence is Taiwan, Canton, and I don't have a lot of trade strength there, I can't see that they would be embargoing us. Oh, I wonder if I'm gonna win this. I did. Okay. Well, I think that there's an event whenever the first time you send troops to a location that they do rise up. They just do. I don't really know. If we noticed, they rose up with 3, and these guys had risen up with 6. So I don't really know exactly how that's calculated. Oh wow, I'm losing money again. Oh, somehow it's charging me a steeper colonial maintenance now. Don't know where that's from, but what that means is as soon as Kamikawa finishes, I'm not going to settle, for example, this place. I do want this place because up here, historically there have been a lot of like metal mines, like in actuality. Okay. So I definitely don't want to reduce the tax modifier for 10 years. How much money are we making from taxes? quite a bit. I mean, it would be minus 0.6. Well, let's look at our current modifiers. Yeah, it'd be minus 0.6 money per month for 10 years. It's pretty steep. Or I could lose a stability. And that would effectively, I would immediately pump back in 100 administrative power. So the choice is, do I want reduced tax modifier for 10 years? So let's calculate that out. I mean, at current rate, it would be minus 0.6 per month. So that's like 7.2 per year. For 10 years, that's 72 gold. So really what they're asking us for is about 72 gold. Now that'll scale. I admit, that'll scale. So when I get greater taxes, that'll still be. They want 72 gold or 100 administrative power. Now if they'd phrased that to me like that, I would have taken the 72 gold hit. I don't even think I would have thought about it. I don't know if I'm thinking this through properly, but if that's really what it is, approximately 72 gold, or 1 stability, which should come out to about 100 administrative power, I'm going to go with the national tax decrease. Okay, let's... Now, did that have the effect that I thought it was going to have? No. I thought it was going to be minus 0.6 and it was minus 0.7 something. I guess it... I don't really know exactly how that... Maybe it did. Maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe it was 0.6 something. So I have to find some cost to cut somewhere, or I'm gonna go a little broke. I can lower fleet maintenance. That's true. I can call back the colonist from here and send him. I don't know how long the trip is going to be. It doesn't tell you. If I hover over it, will it tell me how long the trip is going to be? Yeah, I saw myself as not being too into micro, but when I'm going broke, I feel a little bit more micro inclined. I can't really get any cheaper advisors. If I call him back and send him to one of these that's almost completed, this one for example, well, let's just think here. It's making 83 per year. That's it. Oh, I see. Travel time is 76 days, so it takes 76 days to get over there. And I don't know the travel time back from here, but I think if I recall, it's instantaneous. Yep. Instantaneous. So I'm gonna go ahead and send him here, because if I don't, it's gonna be greater than 3 years, I think. No, it'd be 3. It would have been 3 years, yeah, because it was just under the cap. They got some settlers in the last month because... Oh no, I'm wrong. New settlers, 46%. Must be missing something. Oh, the colonist already got there. And it would have been 3 years. 3 January 1st, and now it's gonna be not even to the end of the month. You know, I might just go with wherever the greatest settler chance is where, I mean, I said this before, but I was trying to get the more profitable colonies up and running down here. That's one of the reasons I was focusing down here. I should just focus on the most settler chance. So here we have a settler chance of 42%. So down here, our settler chance is 21%, 14%. I'm definitely going to send him to the Coral Islands next. Even though I'm less... Okay, we're at 44%. Do I really... This must be that other province in Korea. Yeah, I'm definitely not attacking Korea again. I mean, this is a province that I want, but I'm so worried about my whole... Ooh, tea. Tea's expensive, right? Tea. Supply is low, demand is high, and flat price is high. That's good. I can handle tea. I was kind of disappointed with the wheat in this province because it has a very high base tax, and so it could have been like a great place to build production and tax and just be a real center for money. But with making wheat, I might actually put a, what's it called? There's a building that increases wheat production by 100-fold, 100%. Do I want this? What else would I spend my administrative technology on? It says I can buy this tech, and I need to get to Idea Group 2 to use my administrative technology points for something other than just administrative technology. I get a monthly increase of 8, so I won't be able to bump up stability for a while, but I can start building temples. Temples are great. Temples really are the way that just starting to reinforce wherever you're making core taxation, so not overseas things, but building tax modifiers on same ocean zone provinces is really how you start to become a wealthy country, unless you're something like Ming that just is floating in money. So I'm gonna go ahead and buy it. I don't really know if that was wise. I should have checked to see if there was a guy who would have reduced the cost by 10%. Should definitely have checked to see that before I purchased that tech. That was a mistake. We're not getting the rebel spawns that I was hoping, so that I could get those 2 free stability. Not to say that, I mean, this isn't going to be done for 10 more years. Not to say that we won't. I'm just worried that this mission of incorporate these guys will disappear, and I'm still 5 years away from doing it. What? Guess I don't have the guy who increases diplomatic reputation, so it's taking quite a while. Is he available? No, I would have jumped on that earlier. Yeah, not the best advisors to choose from today. Is it just me, or did colonial maintenance change? It did. Maybe it has something to do with sea zones or something. Because just a second ago, if you see, oh, it's still on the previous one. It was charging me 0.66 per for the first 3 for a total of like 1.99, I think. And now it's charging me more for just these 3. Here, I'm going to go down to 2 really quick and see. I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, I'm just going to go down to 2 and see what the colonial maintenance is, and then make a decision on where to send the colonist. It's not changing. You know, it might have something to do with distance. Like, these are further away from... Like, these were close, so they were cheap, or... I really don't know what's the factor that's determining colonial maintenance cost here. Maybe it'll be in the economy. We have 2 colonies. Yeah, if we have more than 2 colonies, the growth grows exponentially for those. So it must just have something to do with the base tax or aggressiveness or travel time in these particular colonies that's leading to their cost. So we decided whoever has the best settler chance, he does. I'm going to send him here. I don't want to pick up another colony because if this colony were to cost about as much as one of these colonies and the have exponential cost, I don't really need global tariffs, but I definitely want to get to this extra colonist, so go ahead and buy that. What should I should be at this point getting a small number, or getting a number of troops. I guess as soon as I finish annexing these two, I'll have 9 more troops that won't cost me any money. And then I can send a conquistador to explore these lands so that I can know where I want my next colony to be. You also get prestige from revealing fog of war to provinces, whether they be sea zones or... This could have been what we're waiting for. 5 peasant regiments, so that means we're gonna need our boats because I think they're rising up in the homeland. Revolt in Mishi Musashi right here. So even if they were like revolting somewhere more difficult than this, I would be accepting this because I have the feeling that I will, as soon as they start to revolt, get that mission. Oh, sweet. Administrative technology level 5, 50 administrative power, national tax modifier into perpetuity, 5%. Definitely gonna pick that up. I'm gonna deny the petition. And I'm going to hope that they last for a month before my vassals take them out. Doesn't look like it. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll win that combat. Okay, so it's not giving me the mission that I was hoping for. Maybe because they're event-spawned rebels. I don't know. Maybe they have to be... Maybe they have to be rebels that come from these rebellious groups and not event-spawned rebels. That's a shame. I definitely was hoping to pick up some cheap, well, free, really, stability there. Seems kind of like an exploit. I feel a little bit like if it happens every time you get rebels and don't have a mission selected. I think that's still a little loud. I don't know how loud it is for you. I've been watching some of the videos after I record them, and I've noticed that the music was a lot louder in the recorded video than it is for me, and the event noises are also a lot louder. Cloth. So you might think I'd be disappointed about cloth because it sounds like so banal, but at this time, in this era, cloth was exceedingly valuable. And we're going to see that cloth has a demand at 92% with supply beneath that, creating a current price of 2.9. Compare that to, say, wheat with a 1.94 and tea with a 4.41. So I would have preferred tea or china or coffee or mostly just those. Ivory if there were elephants, but I don't think there are. But cloth is fine. I am not gonna gripe about cloth. It's not like the original Victoria where you had to have wool to make yarn to make cloth, or I don't know if that was the exact chain, but you had to have the things. So we're getting pretty close to this point. I think the best thing for me to do now would be I'm wondering if I should crank up the speed. I'm pretty sure of all that's going to happen in the next few months is going to be they slowly begin to like us a little bit more. Although not by a lot, because they have about equivalent aggressive expansion penalty and conquered rivals provinces penalty. I mean, as soon as I annex one of these guys, I'm gonna go ahead and crank up the speed. I know it's a little bit distracting to watch all the boats, so must have forgot to core these two. I know it's a little bit distracting to watch all the boats, and there's not a lot going on in Japan. So we're going to take a look at any of the other Asian nations that we might attack. So, Ceylon? Sri Lanka, I think is what it's currently called. So here's that same event, where we have to decide, is it worth it to save 50% of this colony? And here the difference is that before it would have killed off 350 settlers. Here it'll only kill off 2 years worth of settlers, it looks like. I'm actually gonna let them die. Yeah. So, really want another one of those colonists. They make a huge difference. But that being said, let's check out the rest of what we can see for Asia. This is a very profitable province because it makes these spices. It is an important center of trade. And it has... Oh, it doesn't have the best base tax, but... So this is the inflation question. How do we want to deal with inflation in this country? And I think I just settled on, because we're already getting inflation from our gold mine, and although it's not as bad, the inflation is, I think I mentioned in one of the videos before, I didn't know if inflation was going to reduce as your economy, from a particular gold mine, as your economy got bigger. In the real world, as your economy gets bigger, if you're producing gold that would previously have been creating inflation, if you make your economy larger, you actually need some influx of new coinage in order to prevent deflation. So that's great that the game is actually determining how much inflation our gold mine, our single gold mine over in that one province, is going to give us based on our overall, I would assume, production income or production power or something. So eventually we'll get big enough that this inflation won't be a factor. But as soon as we go over and mess with the Aztecs, we'll be getting quite a bit of inflation. So it seems to me that the next idea group that we unlock is probably going to be this idea, because all of these countries, all of these counties in the Philippines are taxable. This would be a big deal. Because as soon as we extort money out of anyone, we're going to be improving these counties. I don't know what better to call them than counties. These counties. This would be a big deal, and of course the yearly inflation reduction is what I was really going for. The rest of them being kind of not so important, with the final one being not so important. But these three ideas are something that I think is really, really worth it. I'll have to rethink it, but in my current thought process, I think it's really worth it for us to just take some inflation right now. The only thing, because we're peaceful and we're not building anything right now, that it's costing us is advisor costs and transport costs, whatever that means. Maybe transporting colonists and stuff, but it doesn't actually affect colonial maintenance. So because it doesn't affect colonial maintenance, definitely going to take inflation and just either hope that we outgrow our gold mine and I can eventually get an advisor that will reduce our inflation down to nothing. Well, what did they fabricate a claim on? You get this casus belli when they fabricate a claim on one of your provinces. Oh, shit. Well, I have a new plan with how to deal with Ming. As soon as I annex these vassals, I don't want to pull them off because that will stop the annexing process. I'm going to sell these 3 Korean provinces to Ming. That'll get rid of the neighboring heretic religion, I believe. They won't count me as a neighbor, I don't think. I hope. Hopefully it'll get rid of the desires provinces. The heretic will go down to 20. And then hopefully I could send a diplomat over here to increase relations. We still have the royal marriage. Hopefully we can get them to pay us a lot. Ming is always loaded. And we can then invest in temples in every single one of our other provinces and just start the chain of really focusing on Japan, giving up on Korea. If I'm going to give up on Korea, I still want that rebel event, so I'm going to leave the mercenary. I feel bad about coring it, but I do believe, depending on the price they give me, if they give me like 400 per province or so, the 400 per province is going to be more than this base. See, this will give me a total of 4 for this province, but if I got 400 gold, that would be 8 temples, which would be 8 gold. So that would be more than this province is giving me. This province I wanted because I wanted to trade in Chinaware. And it makes quite a bit more. And eventually I think that the tax would go up if I were able to get rid of this intolerance penalty. Yeah, I don't really know what the right move is here, but I'm feeling remorse off of attacking and taking over Korea. Another option would be to, since Korea no longer exists, I'll have this opportunity to create a Korean vassal, and they'll receive these 3 provinces and be my vassal. But that really seems stupid. I don't really think that's good. Kind of afraid of them declaring on me right now. You get a huge penalty for, stability penalty for declaring on someone you have a royal marriage with, though. So I just have to make this play of, where is the province they fabricated a claim on? The dishonorable scum should have... Well, I typically give and get the dishonorable scum win. I don't know what they did. But Ming is doing a lot better in this Let's Play than they have in anyone that I've observed when I saw or... Great, so now we're down to 1 colony. So I can go ahead and found... Oh, it's pretty brutal. I'm gonna get my conquistador. Gonna get some troops. I'm gonna go scout out another one of these Filipino provinces, or Philippine provinces. I'm gonna go ahead and take this because some of the missions are swapping out, like this recover negative stability. I've had negative stability forever. So I don't want this one to swap out. I want the 25 administrative power. And we're not gonna Doesn't seem like we're getting the revolt that I was hoping for, so... Watch, we go ahead and get it now. But that'd be fine. I just taking that risk. So I'm gonna scout out some more Philippine provinces. Make sure that this is part of the Philippines. It is. So this is... I don't want to encroach on this trade zone because I just won't have the power to make it as profitable. So let's see if we can find a profitable province that doesn't have... So 2 and high aggressiveness. Not worth it. I do believe that down here are some provinces that have been historically quite profitable. Spice provinces. So 3 with quite a bit of an aggressiveness. I don't know if it's faster to walk onto the boat and then walk over here, but boy, 5, definitely interested in 5. So I'm gonna go ahead and low settler chance. Tropical. I'm gonna go ahead and send my settler here. Okay. So, what trade zone is the Krulls in? It's in the Japan trade zone, which we're pretty powerful in, but we still have these vassals. The local tax modifier in the Krulls would do nothing, and we don't really need troops, so the trade power is actually, let's just do a little check here. Trade 4.11. Get more trade power. Trade goes up to 4.45. That would be a lot more than increasing the tax in this single province, because now, for some reason, the Krulls is like an important center of trade. I can... Oh, the Aquibus. This is a really important technology because it gives you... No, it doesn't. I thought... Oh, that's right. In the Asian troop tree, you don't get gunmen until 12, whereas I think in the European troop tree it would be a little earlier. That's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up, and then I'm gonna remove my troops from this province, because if these troops are in this province and bad guys were to attack at the moment that I switched them to... I suspect I probably want offensive. No, defensive. Everything I'm going to be doing in this game is going to be defensive. Everything in this game is going to be they rose up from where I was standing. So I want defensive. And you'll see that these troops who were here, they now had 0 morale for a few days. And if they had risen up, they would have gotten killed. My concern was that these troops would rise up in the day that the colonists got there. And then these troops would have had no morale. And they would have died instantaneously. That was my concern. That's why I moved them off. Okay, plus a colonist. Awesome. That's really what I wanted to get to. Now I've got a colonist there, and I'm gonna send a colonist to Manila, and I'm gonna keep my number of colonies low for the time being until I can see how much money I'm gonna get from Ming for selling them those Korean provinces. Okay, I forgot to set my timer, but I'm going to assume that this is a good stopping point. Just from the fact that I just finally got into the game means I should make a little break here in the video.